The following is an exclusive presentation from Learfield.
We want to thank you so much for being here tonight to join in the celebration of 5 very worthy inductees into our Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame. For all of us at Iowa State, this is one of the best days of the year, absolutely. It's indeed a celebration as we get to look back with fondness at our all-time great athletes, coaches, and administrators. And it's going to be a great celebration that we'll take to a different level tomorrow when we introduce our Hall of Famers to 60,000 of their closest friends in Jack Trice Stadium. Now on your tables, you will see note cards and pens. Those are so that you can share a memory or a note of congratulations to the inductees, and these will be included in each inductee's memory book. So please take a moment sometime tonight, provide a personal note to any of our inductees, and when you're finished with that, please place it in the glass jar on your table, and they will be collected after the event. A special thank you to Jeff Grummer and Rod Botthole, back here wearing the Cardinal, who work with B&G Video Productions and Ames, and they're recording tonight's celebration, and they have helped to capture the journeys of each of our inductees. So when you see the videos, it was Rod and Jeff that did such a fine job putting them together. So thank you, Rod and Jeff, for all you do for Iowa State. Additionally, we would like to share our appreciation to Dennis and Lynn Quinn, who made a lead gift to endow the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame, and that will continue to support these special weekends honoring Cyclone legends. Absolutely. The Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame was established in 1997, so tonight we celebrate our 26th Hall of Fame class and bring our total number of Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famers to 204. And when you stop to think about the thousands and thousands of athletes who have competed for Iowa State, 204 is a pretty select group and a very special group. Tonight we have national champions, All-Americans, school record holders, pioneers, and leaders who led their respective teams to unprecedented success. Joining us tonight are several current members of our Hall of Fame. Great to see so many of them back here tonight. I would ask that they please stand as I read their name and remain standing, and we'll hold our applause until the end. But here are the Hall of Famers who are here with us tonight. From the class of 2007, Ike Harris. All right. We're scrapping the whole hold your applause thing. From the class of 2007, Ike Harris. There we go. Absolutely. Let's let them know. From the class of 2007, Luther Blue. From the class of 2020, Ward Mythaler. From the class of 2008, Elaine Heber. From the class of 2008, Frank Randall. From the class of 1998, Ed Gagne. From the class of 2004, Faye Perkins. From the class of 2005, Shelley Finestad. From the class of 2009, Linda Evans. From the class of 2010, Doug Wood. From the class of 2016, Mark Diab. From the class of 2020, Lisa Ewell. From the class of 2012, Andrew Parker. From the class of 2019, Jason Knudsen. And we saved the best for last. From the class of 1997, Gary Thompson. Thank you to all of our Hall of Famers for being with us tonight. That's terrific. We also have several athletic department staff members in attendance. We'd ask that you stand briefly as I mention your name. Our athletics leadership staff members, Jamie Pollard, Nick Jose, Nick Jose, Shamari Brown, Ryan McGuire, Kelsey Sampson, Frank Nogel, and Joan Bowles. Thank you. One of our current coaches is here, our new head gymnastics coach. And by the way, with her presence here, we have 6 former NCAA gymnastics champions in this building today. And that is our new gymnastics coach, Ashley Miles Green. And Matt Campbell wanted to send his congratulations as well to this year's induction class. Of course, Matt's getting ready for the big game tomorrow, but wanted to make sure to let the Hall of Famers know how much he appreciates them. Also want to thank our letter winner engagement staff, and these people work tirelessly, not just on this event, but on so many reunions and things throughout the year, but they really work all year to make sure that this is the special night that it is. So please welcome our letter winner engagement staff, Mike Green, Natalie Horowitz, Sammy Hildreth, Juliana Quiring, Sydney Willits, and Ava Sanamo. Thank you so much for all you do. We also want to acknowledge members of our Letter Winners Club Leadership Board, and I'd ask that they please stand as well. Kyvan Gatson, President. Mike Capobianco. Cappy. Linda Evans. Mike Conlon. Stu Buck. Kevin Lazard. Tony Douglas. Tom Walden. Aaron Rosacker. Bob Thompson. Tom Crochelle. You can stand, Tom. And Lindsay Long. Let's not forget Lindsay Long. So as we begin our celebration of our 2023 Hall of Fame class tonight, let's please welcome our outstanding Director of Athletics to say a few words, Jamie Pollard.
Thank you, John. You know, I always love this event so much. It is a great reminder of just what we really do, having the opportunity to, pay our respects and honor our former student athletes. And when I think about this organization, the Letter Winners, I think Gary, I think back to 2005 when I interviewed for this position and Gary was on that search committee and he was representing all of the Letter Winners. And I remember you asked me, what can we do to enhance what we do and make this organization more vibrant? And one of the ideas that we had was, let's not do it by volunteers, let's have full-time staff. And I think about Ryan McGuire. Where are you, Ryan? Our first full-time director of the Letter Winners Association. And is Lindsay still here? Lindsay Long? She had to leave? Lindsay, who followed Ryan and did an amazing job. And then unfortunately for us, decided she wanted to go over to the foundation. And so we lost her, but we were able to put Mike Green into that role, who's got a great history at Iowa State. And I just think about just how this organization has grown and the importance of it, because we look around this room and there's a lot of us. This is my 19th Hall of Fame that I get to be part of, and we were joking at our table. What's really neat about this event is you don't age, because we all just kind of age together, right? So those of us that have been coming every year, we kind of look at each other and go, you look great. You haven't changed a bit. But what's fun for me for this event, which I think sets Iowa State apart, is that when you get chosen for the Iowa State Hall of Fame, it isn't an administrative decision. It isn't because somebody lobbied somebody or somebody knows the athletics director. Heck, the athletics director doesn't even have a vote. So you can lobby me all you want. I'm not even in the room when they make the decisions. Because when you get voted into the Hall of Fame at Iowa State, you're voted in by your peers. And not just the peers in your sport, but by your peers, your fellow former letter winners. And so that level of standard that you have to be at for other letter winners in other sports to say, yes, that's somebody that we should give the highest honor at Iowa State Athletics to. And so tonight, we have 5 individuals. Joan, pioneer in women's sports, and awesome to have her back here tonight. Dennis, to join the long line of men's gymnastics inductees. And, Dennis, I feel like I know you because I feel like I know all of them because Ed talks about all you like it was yesterday and you're all his kids. And so he's a very proud papa again tonight with Dennis going in. Mike, I enjoyed today getting to spend some time, but to think back to as a kid watching him play and just, to now be in a position that we're honoring you and to spend time with you talking about what it was like then compared to what they have today. We sat down for breakfast this morning in the dining hall, and he's like, they get this like every day? Like free? And then we joked about NIL because he said, yeah, I needed some spending money back in the day. And Coach said, you know what? I put a good word in for you. I got you a job. And he's thinking he's going to turn on the automatic sprinklers, right? Nobody laughed. He was going to turn on the automatic sprinklers, right? No, they sent him out to be part of the construction crew to build Jack Trice Stadium. I said, nowadays they get NIL, they don't even have to work. Herkel, okay? I knew about Herkel Ivy before I ever even became an Iowa Stater. Heck, with a name like Herkel Ivy, what an awesome name. That's an announcer's dream to have a basketball player that can shoot the lights out. And his name is Herkel. That's awesome, okay? And then lastly, Betsy. And Betsy's really special to me because she's one of the children. She's one of the athletes that, since I've been an athletics director. And Betsy, it was really neat to see you this morning and reminisce about Betsy coming out to the Pollard household with our little kids and Betsy making us from scratch dinner that she would be serving in Kenya. And it was so neat for our family to experience that. And so it's moments like that I come here tonight and I just think, wow, this is so cool. And we should be so proud of what we do and how we do it. And so tonight, let's honor these 5 inductees. And tomorrow, they'll get their chance in front of this 60,000 people to be honored. And it's awesome. It's awesome to be a Cyclone. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thanks so much, Jamie. All right, it is time now to meet the 2023 Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame class. I mentioned earlier that we have pioneers with us tonight, and nobody fits that bill better than our first inductee, Joan Gerhardt. In 1970, Joan was hired by Dr. Barbara Forker as Iowa State's first women's golf coach. Essentially, she started the program from scratch, recruiting Iowa State's first players, teaching and coaching them, and even driving them to their meets. Joan literally did it all, and she did it out of her love for the game of golf and her determination to grow girls' and women's athletics in her home state. She's a Haywarden, Iowa native, and she was the original member of the West Sioux High School golf team. And as it turns out, Joan was also one heck of a golf coach. She led the Cyclones to 23 tournament championships and 3 national tournaments. She coached Barb Thomas to All-American status, and Barb, of course, went on to success on the LPGA Tour. Joan herself is a longtime member of the LPGA, and this is her 3rd Hall of Fame honor. Joan is already in the South Dakota Athletics Hall of Fame and the National Golf Coaches Association Hall of Fame. And tonight, she takes her rightful place in the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame. Iowa State Athletics recently concluded its celebration of 50 years of Title IX. So how appropriate is it tonight to have Joan Gerhardt with us to be a part of this special night? We ask to turn your attention to the video boards, if you would, for the story of Joan Gerhardt.
I had finished graduate school And previously to that, I had taught 2 years at Audubon, Iowa, and had coached a successful high school team, and looking for a university position to teach. And I had previously, on the way to Texas, interviewed at Texas, and they did not want a women's golf team. They did not want to take the money away from the men's team. Also interviewed at Arizona State, but while I was in Texas, I got this wonderful call from Dr. Barbara Forker at Iowa State, and I thought, wow, Iowa State wants a women's golf team? These southern schools didn't. And so when I got back to Iowa, I came down and drove into Ames and interviewed with Dr. Forker, and believe it or not, I had this wonderful position to teach and to coach and start a women's golf team. And should I tell you how much money I really received for my first salary was $50. And I got the privilege of driving my own car. I also had the opportunity to start a golf team. That was wonderful. I put an ad in the school paper, and I had 25 girls, I think, attend the first meeting that night. And I had an instant team. And from then on, it was the most fun thing I've ever done. I loved it. I had girls from Iowa, and we got to travel in my car, and we got to take psych lunches, and they were meets with just 2 other schools. We played Northern Illinois, we played Briar Cliff, and we would drive home at night. And then eventually we did have one tournament at Illinois State, which was a 2-day, we had an overnight tournament, and we did get to take a school van to that one. That was awesome. Starting from scratch with raffles to earn a golf ball so that each girl had 1 golf ball per tournament, no golf bags. We did, finally Joan went to a sign painter in town. I bought red golf bags, and he painted Iowa State on the bags. So we were the first team, I think, that ever played in the Big 8. And we now have our own golf bags. We were the first team to have our own golf bags. And they had a yellow jacket, and we had it printed with a print shop that said Iowa State golf team on it. So that was the first start. Iowa had a wonderful junior program. We had 5 or 6 women in Iowa that had a wonderful junior program. So most of the girls had played previously. I took the 25 or so and narrowed it down to about a dozen. And I had girls that did play golf, had no formal instruction, but I had the privilege of having golfers to start with. And they were just thrilled to death to have the opportunity to play golf. They played because they loved to play golf. And I loved to teach, and we had fun. It was just a wonderful experience for all of us. We all learned together. This was new for me and new for them, and it was the time of my life. Oh, without a doubt, it's the best job in the world. Not since I've left here. I still think Iowa State, everything is Iowa State, everything is red and yellow. Even my license plate holder is Iowa State, my trailer hitch says ISU on it. I'm still a Cyclone. Really, I am here today because of them. I had the opportunity to work with the best and learn from the best, and all I was able to do was transfer that on to them. And they're still talking to them today. They're saying, making me laugh about the things I told them, and I'm telling them things that my mentors that told me. So that's kind of fun when I hear them talking about fun things that we used to do, that we're laughing together. It was like a dream come true. I'm blown away by everything I'm doing already. It is a lifetime achievement award, really, for me. This is the crown and glory of being Iowa State Hall of Fame. I might choke up if you ask me any more.
One golf ball per player. I wouldn't have lasted very long at all. Please welcome Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer, Joan Gerhardt.
Good evening. It is with my deepest gratitude that I accept this great honor to be inducted into the Iowa State Hall of Fame. As you said earlier, this is like a lifetime dream. First, I must acknowledge the 4 people that are no longer with me today, and they are the reason I am standing here tonight. First is my father, who really got me interested in golf. He would come home early from work so we could play 9 holes of golf before dark. He provided me with lessons so I could improve my game. And I'd take the lessons and then I'd come home and teach him. So I was actually learning how to teach golf as well as reinforcing what I had just learned. He spent countless hours with me practicing, and he even shagged balls for me. So thank you, Dad, for everything that you did for me. My first induction into the LPGA was a woman by the name of Shirley Spork. I first met Shirley in, if you can believe, 1967 at a golf workshop at Texas Women's University. She was giving a golf workshop and I needed the credit to finish my master's degree. She was an awesome teacher, having been awarded the mentor and teacher with the LPGA. And I wanted to be just like her. She must have seen some potential in me as she helped me become a consultant for the National Golf Foundation, as well as a Master Life member in the LPGA. I was very fortunate to spend time with Shirley at the Solheim Cup when it was in Des Moines. And Shirley passed away recently. I still use Cindy's teaching aids, so anyone that took lessons from me know about the teaching aids. And I thank Shirley for being my mentor and helping me become the teacher I am today. My second mentor with the LPGA was a woman by the name of Ann Casey Johnstone, who is a member of the Iowa Hall of Fame. And she's from Mason City, Iowa. As an apprentice in the LPGA, I was assigned a master teacher. And of course, that was Ann. After helping mentoring me through my qualifications for the LPGA, I had just finished my master's degree and then become a member of the LPGA. Of course, now I was looking for a teaching position at a university. Believe it or not, Ann called Dr. Barbara Farker. And guess what? She recommended me for a teaching position at Iowa State. So it's because of Ann Casey Johnstone that I am here at Iowa State. My final mentor, Dr. Barbara Farker. I really don't know where to start to talk about Dr. Farker. By the way, Iowa State owes Dr. Farker a great debt of gratitude for everything she did with Title IX and for getting women involved in sports in Iowa State. I interviewed at other schools. No one wanted to start a women's golf team. But she gave me the opportunity to start a women's golf team. And you heard the $50 I got. That was, wow, terrific. I was thrilled to have this opportunity to teach golf as well as to start a women's golf team. Dr. Forker happened to be a golf enthusiast, and when the Dr. Forker building was built, she gave us fantastic teaching facilities in which to teach our golf classes, as well as for my team to practice indoors in the winter. As my team improved in success and we got a lot better, our budgets increased, and we were able to compete with the highly ranked teams in the country. So thank you, Dr. Forker, for the best job in the whole world. I am forever indebted to Iowa State for giving me the opportunity to teach and to do what I love, to coach golf. Iowa State is responsible for me becoming the teacher and the person I am today. And I still bleed red and yellow. Go Cyclones.
Thank you, Joan. Before we meet our next inductee, Herkel Ivey, we wanted to share with you Herkel's reaction when he was first told that he'd been voted into our Hall of Fame.
It's my honor and my privilege to share with you, Herkel, that the Iowa State Letter Winners Association is enshrining you into our Hall of Fame.
That is outstanding. You know what? I've been thinking all week. I said, what if they're calling me to tell me that they're going to induct me in the Hall of Fame? And this is outstanding. This is the day I've been waiting on.
Well, that's awesome to hear.
I thank you guys very, very much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be in the Iowa State Hall of Fame. I've had some of the best 4 years I've had in my life.
I'm really happy for you.
Thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate it. It's an honor.
The Iowa State men's basketball program has had some great scorers in its history, but not many could put the ball in the basket as eloquently and as frequently as Herkel Ivey. Herkel came to Iowa State from St. Louis, and it didn't take him long to become a fan favorite with a great nickname, Poison Ivy. Herkel was named the Big 8 Newcomer of the Year in 1974. And the next year he took it a step further, scoring a career-high 43 points against Colorado, en route to establishing the Iowa State single-season scoring record, which still stands today because he averaged 28.3 points per game in the 1974-75 season. 3 times Herkel was an All-Big 8 selection. Twice he earned All-American mention. Before being drafted by the Houston Rockets, he left Iowa State with a firm hold on 3 scoring records: points in a game, points in a season, and points in a career. And just think how many more points Herkel would have had if there had been a 3-point shot. Right. Herkel was in range the minute he walked into the arena. And he never met a shot he didn't like. And we liked it too, because most of the time those shots were going in. And one of the things I love most about Herkel is that he never stopped loving Iowa State. In 2008, he came back as a member of the Iowa State basketball all-century team. And seemingly every year, Eric and I run into Herkel somewhere at a Cyclone road game. We saw him last year in Lawrence, Kansas. We ask that you turn your attention to the video board to see the story of Herkel Ivey.
When I was a freshman in high school, I didn't even play basketball. My sophomore year, I did a little bit better. My junior, senior year, I became all-city and all-state player in Missouri. Well, when I was first getting recruited by Maury John and Gus Guyton, they came in and they were the first ones to really recruit me. And my mom kind of fell in love with Gus, and who came in, who had that smile. And so I came for a visit and enjoyed it. Actually, I didn't know if I could play at this level, but I had a first game against Yugoslavia, and I think that my sophomore year, and I think I scored 30 points, and I said, oh, maybe I can play at this level. We came in my sophomore year when I played. Maury John actually got sick, and I think we had a pretty decent year, and I think that had Maury stayed around, we would have probably been, he probably would have did some great things here at Iowa State. And then we got Ken Trickey, who came in with his running gun style and wanted me to shoot just a little bit more. And we didn't, you know, with the slow down, Big 8 style of play, it just wasn't conducive for that era. I worked on my shooting quite a bit while I was here, and I learned how to shoot it from distance, and it worked out. Yeah, when I was in the zone, I just felt like, you know, everything was going to go in. It's just like hey. The 43-point game against Colorado was a good one. I think we beat Kansas here. I think I scored 37, 38 points against the #1 team in the Big 8. Those are probably my best two memories. I had Andrew Parker was one, Eric Heff, Steve Bergeson, Art Johnson. Those guys were instrumental in helping me to enjoy my time here at Iowa State. You guys have right now the Hilton, what's the Hilton of the South? Well, I think that was in our era, that was as well a Hilton of the South, because we did quite well my sophomore year, junior year in Kansas City. We went to the championship each of those years. I loved my time here at Iowa State. It was probably one of the biggest things that I did in my life. I enjoyed the time. I enjoyed the fans who have treated me quite well back then, and they continue to do so right now. I think that we were the start of what they're doing now, because we started with the high-scoring games, and they're still doing that, and I thought that our teams laid the foundation for what they're doing now.
Number 22, Purple, Poison, Ivy.
That weekend was actually one of the best weekends I've had. To be part of 100 years of basketball, and I was like one of the top 15 players in that era. That was an honor. This is a great honor. I am humbled and tremendously happy to be part of the Iowa State Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer, Herkel Ivey.
Thank you for the welcome. First, I want to thank, there's a person that's not here tonight that was my biggest fan in my career, which is my mom. She passed away, but she would have loved to have been here tonight because she was the biggest fan of Iowa State basketball that you could ever have. So the guys that know me and they played with me, they know that she was outstanding. But I want to thank Mike, Natalie, Lindsay for putting on such a nice event. It's a humbling experience to be named to the Iowa State Hall of Fame, and it's an honor to me. I want to thank my wife, my daughter, my grandbaby, my new grandbaby, my brothers, my two brothers, Daryl, Andre, their wives and their family, my nieces and nephews who traveled up here with me today to honor this with me, and I appreciate it. And I want to give a special thanks to someone who has been outstanding for me this weekend, Steve and Ann Burgess. They have made this weekend so special to me, and you guys are awesome. My teammates, Eric, could you stand? Andrew, Reinebach, Cap, these guys played with me, and I think they're the reason why I scored all those points, because I made them give it to me. So Eric had, I think he has the assist record forever, but he was because he passed it to me. And to the coaches, Maury John and Gus Guyton, who convinced me to come to Iowa State, which in the highlights, they convinced me to come here, and I should be kissing them now, because this was a great experience and my greatest 4 years of my life. But they convinced me to come to Iowa State, and I enjoyed all of it. And that was the reason probably why I'm up here tonight, because of that experience. And the fans here at Iowa State, I come around to all of the games in Big 8, to the Big 12, Kansas City. I come up to this, but they've treated me so well, and I appreciate all the effort that you guys have done for me, because I feel really appreciated all the time. And in closing, I think Jamie asked me what I would have done if I had a three-point shot. I don't know, Jamie. But I guess we'll never know. But I appreciate that. And in closing, I want to say thank you to all the fans here at Iowa State. I am honored and privileged to be part of this Iowa State Hall of Fame, and I want to thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Congratulations, Herkel. Thank you. Before we introduce our next inductee, Denny Mazer, we want to show you a clip of Denny's reaction when he learned of his great honor.
So your grandkids are going to love this.
All right.
It's my honor to share with you that the Iowa State Letter Winners Association has decided to honor you by putting you in the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame this fall.
Oh, wow.
It's
Great.
awesome. Coach Gagne will love it. All your old teammates will love it. Do your grandkids even know you were a gymnast and a national champion?
Oh, yeah. I've got, my wife was just kidding. They go, you got to go and look in my office and they'll know everything about you. And I got my whole office full of Iowa State gymnastics.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, now you're going to have one more thing to put in there, right?
I think so. Great.
Ed Gagne established the Iowa State men's gymnastics program in 1963, and by the late 60s, the Cyclones were developing into a national power. That caught the eye of a young champion in the Chicago area. In 1968, Denny Mazer won the Illinois all-around title from Maine East High School before committing to Iowa State. Denny gravitated toward the parallel bars as his top event, and that's where he flourished as a Cyclone. And as a team, the Cyclones flourished, finishing in the top 3 nationally in all 4 of Denny's seasons in Ames, capped by a national championship, Iowa State's first, in 1971. The 1972 national meet would be held at Hilton Coliseum, and it's hard to imagine a more storybook ending to Denny's career than to stand at the top of the podium in front of the Iowa State fans as the NCAA Parallel Bars champion. That's exactly what happened. Denny was a 2-time All-American and has the distinction of winning both an individual national title and a team national championship. He graduated from Iowa State and continued to impact the sport he loves back home in Chicago as a high school coach for 35 years. And tonight he adds to the legacy of Ed Gagne's great teams by joining the Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame. Please turn your attention to the video board for the story of Denny Mazer.
Iowa State was on my list, except that I had a guy at my high school by the name of Bill Bolton, and he was 4 years ahead of me, and he was here at Iowa State on the team. He would come back during break, Christmas break, and work out with us in the gym. He'd tell me about Iowa State. So I come, and after I came, it wasn't even a choice, because I loved the campus, I loved the whole area, I loved the team, the guys on the team that were going to be my group of guys. My 4 years were some super people that I really knew I could actually make me better working with them. And then also before I was here, the 4 years before me, there was a Jim Jackson, Jerry Fontana, Mike Jackie, all Americans. Ward Mythaler, who was eventually a Hall of Honor guy too. But the thing is that those guys set the precedent. They like with Coach Gagne, and then they were like maybe 5th in the nation. And then the year I came in, those guys all graduated, and the only one left out of that group was Ward Mythaler. But then I came in with, there was a Dave Butzman and a Brent Simmons, who eventually was another Hall of Famer. And our year, for the 4 years I was there, I counted up, we had 4 Hall of Famers during my 4 years. So you can tell that was kind of like set the tone for those 4 years of how we were going to do. And so that was how I ended up here. Once I met Coach Gagne, it was a done deal. When he would talk to you, he'd make you feel like you were the most important guy in the room. And then he made you want to work for him. And you didn't want to disappoint him. You wanted to work hard. And he was just such a nice guy. And he was just so good to everybody. And just not a, when that kind of coach that gets mad or yells and screams or anything, he did it a different way. I worked all the events. I came in as an all-rounder. I worked all around most of the time. Parallel bars just seemed to be where I kind of did the best. You know, I got most of my accolades on parallel bars throughout the years. In sophomore year, I was 3rd in the nation, All-American on parallel bars. And then again, senior year, I won it. But then Big 8 champion a couple times. And it was always on parallel bars. My other events where I couldn't say that I didn't like them, I actually liked high bar more than parallel bars, but I did better on parallel bars. The team title, that was at Chrysler Arena in Michigan, and it was out of this world because the accolades and stuff that followed, and the paper and the people, and when he came back to Ames, it was just like a celebration. And again, my freshman year we were 3rd in the nation, my sophomore year we were 2nd, and my junior year we won it. So it was like we were creeping up, we finally did it. We were shooting to get the national championship my senior year. We had won it my junior year. Senior year, you know, you got to try to repeat, but it's not easy to repeat. We ended up taking 2nd to, I think it was Southern Illinois. We lost the team championship, but then I did pretty good on parallel bars and I won that. So, you know, it's kind of like we were sad that we lost the team, but I was happy that I could do that. The team wasn't like a team where you worked out and then you never saw them again. We were a family. You know, we worked out together. We played together, we did things together. Everything we did was a family, and we lived together. You know, we had groups of us. I had 4 roommates in college, all gymnasts. You know, the other group, a couple of guys on the team, they were gymnasts, and they were all living together. But we had a kind of a group that we were all stayed together, and we just didn't like separate. Unbelievable. You know, it's just, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. When Mike called me, it was like, what? You gotta be kidding me. I would see Coach was one of the first ones, and then he should be. And then after that, we had Brent Simmons and some of the other guys that came before me, and everyone was deserving because everyone was great. And when I got, the call, I'm going, I'm with those guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer, Denny Mazer.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. I want to, before I go any further, I want to thank my wife especially for making a 6-hour drive in the car with a bad back with me yesterday, and we made it, and she did okay. So I want to give her credit for, supporting me. And like the video said, everything that I talked about, this place is awesome. The Iowa State is awesome. You guys are awesome for doing this, for inducting me into the Hall of Fame, and for all that. That's awesome. I mean, I haven't been here for a long time. I came here and I saw the stadium, I saw that performance building, and it's like out of this world. I can't believe it. The kids nowadays have a great opportunity, and facilities are out of this world. So, as far as that goes, I have nothing but good things to say about all my teammates and my coach. For the most part, my 2 roommates I'd like to acknowledge, Tony Rizzuto, Jeff Levin, four of us in a apartment, the same apartment, all 4 years. And like the video said, our team was a family. We didn't just, go to work out and then disappear. We lived together, we did things together, we worked out together, but then we partied together and we had fun together. For the most part, I think I wanted to say that Ward Mythaler was inducted a couple of years ago, and he told me that he told a funny story. And he said, you got to tell a funny story. So I have kind of a funny story that was funny to us. And it had to do with Coach. And we were going to go to a meet, and it was going to be at Southern Illinois University. Southern Illinois was our rival. They were really good. And we were going to go down there. A lot of the trips we took, when it's further away, we took a plane. Southern Illinois is about a 6 or 7 hour car ride. Not a good ride, long way, going to get tired and all that. So this is the funny part is that, so we're going to take a bus. But Coach is thinking, he going, we got a bus, we got 7 hours on a bus, we're going to get to the Southern Illinois, which is one of the better teams in the country, and we're going to be tired, and so what we show up the first day to get on that bus, and when we get there, we walk on the bus, and I look around, I look this way, I look that way, there's no seats on the bus, no seats. Coach tore all the seats out of the bus. He didn't want us to get tired sitting the whole way. He tore all the seats out of the bus, and he filled the entire bus with 6-inch gymnastic crash pads. So the whole bus was crash pads from one end to the other, and we laid down and lounged the whole 7 hours to Southern Illinois so that we had the energy to, I think we beat them too, so that was the good part. But all the credit goes to Coach. He was the inspiration to all of us, and I think all the guys at our tables here and the other tables, they know what I say when I tell them that Coach was the guy. He was the one that held us together, and he made you want to work for him. He just instilled you in that, and I just want to say thank you to Coach Gagne. Again, thank you for the Iowa State Athletic Department, for Mike and Jamie and all the ones who were involved in doing this. And this is a great honor. I couldn't be happier. And I just, I take, I've got Iowa State stuff, like I said in my video. My office is, my wife complains because there was no wall space left on my walls. I've got plaques and photos, and this is just going to be another photo or a plaque that I'll have to find room for on my wall. So, but I appreciate everything, and thanks you for everybody for coming here. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations, Denny. Before we introduce our next inductee, Betsy Sina, we want to show you a quick clip of Betsy's reaction when she learned of this honor.
The main reason I'm on the call is I get to share with you this morning that the Letter Winners Association has recommended you to be inducted into the Iowa State Hall of Fame.
Wow! Thank you. I appreciate. Thank you.
Yes, it's awesome.
Now I'm coming back again to Iowa State.
Well, now you have to come back this fall. like when people get inducted that were student athletes when I was athletics director. I kind of feel it's like one of my children coming in, but especially with you because we had such a great bond. So my family is excited for you.
I'm excited. I'm gonna come back and I will bring Kale with me. He has to be part of that.
All right, yes, that's even better.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm super excited. It's a huge thing for me. And, Iowa State is always in my heart. And it's something like, it's my home. It's where everything began in my journey of being a good athlete. And, just being a professional runner. Maybe if I didn't come to Iowa State, I wasn't going to make it to be a professional runner. So it has brought a lot of impact to me. And I'm excited.
Well, we're so happy for you. You deserve it.
Betsy Sina is one of the truly great champions to ever compete at Iowa State in any sport. Betsy came to Ames from Kenya and learned under the apprenticeship of fellow ISU Hall of Famer Lisa Cole. But it didn't take long for Betsy to establish her own legacy. She was a 9-time Big 12 champion, 3-time NCAA champion, a Honda Award winner as the nation's best, and a 2-time Iowa State Female Athlete of the Year. Think about what Betsy accomplished in her senior season. In the fall of 2012, she became Iowa State's first and only NCAA women's cross-country champion. In a field of 253 competitors that day in Louisville, Kentucky, there was one champion, Betsy Sina. And all the while, Betsy was putting the team ahead of herself. And nothing epitomized that more than the 2013 Big 12 Indoor Championships, where Betsy became the first Cyclone to win 3 individual titles. And think about the events she won in one weekend: the mile, the 5K, and the 10K. And then to cap off her brilliant career, Betsy won her 3rd NCAA championship, taking the outdoor 10K. In her career, Betsy was an indoor national champion in the 5K, a cross-country national champion, and an outdoor national champion in the 10K. 3 national titles in 3 different sports. From Iowa State, it was on to an international career which continues to this day. Betsy took 5th place in the 2016 Rio Olympics 10K. She won the 2018 Paris Marathon, and as an American citizen now, Betsy is training to represent our country in the 2024 Paris Olympic Marathon. In fact, 5 days ago, on Sunday, Betsy won the prestigious Sydney Marathon. Please turn your attention to the video board to see the story of Betsy Sina.
I actually had a very interesting story. Barnabas Courier, who was inducted to Hall of Fame 2 years ago, whatever, is my friend to my daddy. And after high school, I remember I was just running training, and after high school in Kenya, we always have a period of like 4 months when you're waiting for the results. And when I was still training, I met with Barnabas one day in Eldoret when I was going for my running, and he asked me like, "Hey, did you graduate from high school?" And I said, "Yep." And then he was like, I want you to go to I want to get you a scholarship to go to the US. And I was like, wait, that's very interesting. In my place where I grew up, we don't have anyone who has ever, I was the first person to get out of my village, get out of the place I come from. And it was really a new thing for me to ask, like, what do you mean like going to the US? And then he took me away from where I was. He took me to a place where he could monitor all my training. And then he took to coach core emails. And we started my journey just like step by step, and within, I think it took us like 4 months. And Corey came to Kenya, and they just gave me the scholarship, and I was the happiest person because I knew like it's something new for my family. Like nobody has ever traveled outside. I had heard about people who have traveled outside, that you can change your family, and that is actually what really came to my mind immediately when I was coming to Iowa State. So I was like, okay, I think it's time for me to start my journey, and yeah, here I am. It just took me like 4 or 5 months, and I just got to Iowa State. And unfortunately, nobody told me about the snow. He told me about the school, like school is good, and he told me it's cold. But I was assuming it's just cold, the cold that I know. It was really good, you know. I just got here when Lisa Yule, she was a start. She was someone that everybody was looking after her, not just the Iowa State, but the whole nation. So for me, I just got here, and as far as I wasn't like as good as a runner when I came here, I had someone to look after, and it just changed my mentality immediately when I got here. I started training really hard, and like everybody was like, I want to be like Lisa. I was among those first, you know, student athletes who really wanted to be like her. And I remember I sat down with Corey one day, and he told me like, I see a lot of potential in you. All I want you to do is like, I want you to do really hard training, and I want you to study hard. And I went back and I was like, I don't know if I will be able to have that potential like Lisa, to be honest, but I'm gonna give it a try. And in my sophomore year, I was an All-American in outdoor season. I was an All-American in cross country, and that's how I started. I remember very well, I really shocked myself really when I ran the outdoor 10K, and I was number 2 with Lisa, 5K, 10K in the Big 12s. That's when I was like, oh wow, it looks like I'm getting it together. And you know, every race I could get in the podium. If not win the race, get in the podium. But the NCAA title, it just changes who I am. It puts me to win more titles. I ended up winning the 10,000 meters title, and I won the cross country, which was really special to me. And things changes from then. Without the teammates, I don't think it was gonna happen. They pushed me hard. We were helping each other in the workouts. It's been a huge impact, and thank goodness I still keep in touch with a lot of my teammates, which is really amazing. It's 10 years since we graduated, but I still feel like it's yesterday. It's the best thing, you know, having a teammate, having people that you will remember forever. It's a memory that stays with us forever. Without this school, I don't think my family could be the way they are today. Without coming over here, I don't think I have 2 sisters that end up training me in the US. And, you know, like getting that scholarship, I could sacrifice some of the money to send to my parents to get my family better. To be honest, it has a huge impact for me forever. It's not just like running, not even school alone, but my family really changed for the best. Everything that happens in my life is just because of being here. Like, it shaped me to be a better version of myself, to make me a better person, and to change everything in my society where I come from. I feel like it's a huge thing for me. I want my children, I want my son to know that, you know, like they will always see this thing in mommy. Like, it's something that it will remain forever. To be honest, like even if I retire, there's something that I will never retire about. I will never retire about being part of the Cyclones, being part of Iowa State. It will remain forever in my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Iowa State Athletics Hall of Famer Betsy Sina.
I don't know where to start. Good evening. You know, like you have watched the clip. I think I said everything that I'm supposed to be saying today. But to be honest, I'm so grateful. I have a beautiful family. I'm so happy that the 2 sisters I was mentioning, they are here today with me, with my 2 amazing brothers-in-laws. And my amazing mother-in-law, she flew all the way from Kenya by herself. I was worried. But, you know, she made it safe. You know, things happen for a reason, and I always thank God for that. When I got a phone call that I'm going to be inducted to Hall of Fame in September, I did not know what to do because fall marathon is always September, October for most of us. And I was praying for one thing. I was like, I hope I am not going to go to Berlin Marathon because it's happening on the same weekend that the Hall of Fame induction is happening. And at some point, we were just having like, yeah, you're going to Berlin because, you know, like that's what my agent had on the table. And then like a month ago, things changed and I decided to go to Sydney Marathon. And it's a long trip down there before coming over here. But I was so happy to go to Sydney before coming to celebrate, because it's better to celebrate after finishing a big race. And I was so lucky, I am a mom of one. He's 1 year, 8 months. Unfortunately, he's not here today because flying with a kid who is 1 year, 8 months to Sydney and then flying to the US, I don't think it was going to be possible. But I know I will show him these videos when he grow up. I will remind him that he was supposed to be here. But anyway, today I have had a very interesting story, and I'm so grateful to have come over to Iowa State because of a lot of things that happened in my life to be here. One thing I want to be grateful, I want to appreciate one of the former Hall of Fame inductee. His name is Barnabas Korir, who was inducted in 2019. I remember I was just in Kenya, not knowing what to do, In Kenya, when you graduate from high school and you have to wait for 4 months before knowing where you are heading to. And for me, it's not like I wanted to come to the US. I just wanted to get out of my village. I told my father, I want to go start running. And he was like, okay. Since I was a runner in high school, he just gave me an opportunity to go do my training as I was waiting for my exams from the nation. And when I went to the camp, I keep training. And one day I was just walking in the streets of Eldoret, just like anybody else, going to the mall. And I met this guy, and he looked at me with my tracksuit. I was just from a workout, and he was like, oh, you look like a runner. I'm like, yeah, just running. I'm a student. I just finished high school. And he was like, oh, wow, maybe I can help you to go to Iowa State. And I was like, oh, wait, what do you mean? So he told me a story about, I grew up in a village whereby we don't have a lot of people who I've never had anyone going abroad to study, or I've never had anyone who has taken the plane in my village. And I was like, I ended up listening very carefully, trying to pass the information to my family to see if my dad will be okay with it, because for me it was something that I was really shocked. Thank goodness my father responded very positively, and Barnabas took me through the system, took me through everything in a couple of 3 months, and I was accepted by Jimmy Bowler to come to Iowa State for the studies. And it was the best thing for me because I started asking a lot of people who are here, and I started looking at their families, and I was like, I hope my family will come and be like that family as well. I hope I can be able to change, if not one or two. But to be honest, a lot has changed since I came to Iowa State. If there's someone who is really proud, who is really appreciating, is me and my sisters, and my mother-in-law is here today. Things has changed. It has changed me to be a better person. It has changed my family from poverty to being a better family. It has changed the whole village to have the light of knowing that you can go study outside, you can be a runner, you can be whatever you want to be if you believe in your dreams. Today, as I am celebrating today, I'm so lucky to be still an active runner, and my biggest goal now is I hope to make the Olympic team for the 2024 Olympic Marathon, which will be happening in Orlando, Florida in February. But it's going to be amazing because I have something that I celebrate today, and this celebration will keep going because being an Hall of Fame, being a Cyclone, I really want to keep, even though I'm running professional, I feel like I'm representing Cyclone Nation. Because all the time when you're running, sometimes you meet with people from different schools, different colleges, and I'm so happy that running the Olympic trials will mean a lot because I'll get to compete with almost everyone that I used to compete with in college. So thank you so much for the induction, and I appreciate Timmy Bollard for giving me, he was helping us a lot, even being here. I used to walk to his office sometimes, especially when my freshman year was the hardest thing ever, and I was thinking about going for a transfer. But when you finish a semester, you have a great director like him. Things change. I never thought about moving away. I forgot about the cold. I assumed it was like part of my life. But things end up being what I wanted to be. I keep getting better as an athlete, and I keep getting better changing my family. And up to today, we really appreciate Cyclone is my family, and Cyclone is my family forever. Thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate it.
Congratulations. Well deserved. All right, before we introduce our next inductee, Mike Strawn, we want to show you Mike's reaction when he was informed of this honor.
It's my pleasure, Mike, on behalf of the Iowa State Letter Winners Association, to be able to share with you today that you were selected to go into the Iowa State Athletic Hall of Fame this fall.
Wow. Oh, my. That means I got to come up to Iowa, huh?
Well, we're going to bring you up to Iowa. We're going to bring back the original running back, right? You know, everybody talk about David Montgomery and Breece Hall, but when I look at it, I think you started it all, didn't you?
I think so. You know, my wife never been up to Iowa, and it's going to be a great trip for her, but that's great news. My first Hall of Fame.
It is your first one?
The first one. I mean,
well,
it's a little tougher to make the Saints Hall of Fame, you know, but this is great. I mean, this is greatest news. I mean, I always wanted to know what it would feel like to be honored like this. So that's great to hear.
Well, Miami, Florida has blessed Iowa State with some pretty good running backs, pretty great running backs. And long before Troy and Darren Davis came along, Mike Strawn created his own legacy as a Cyclone. In fact, Mike was the first two-time 1,000-yard rusher in Iowa State history and a two-time first-team All-Big 8 running back. And to stand out as a running back in the Big 8 at that time, you really had to be special. There were a lot of great backs around the league. But Johnny Majors knew that he had a special one right away, because in Mike's very first collegiate game, he rushed for 143 yards in a 43-0 Cyclone win at Colorado State. That season, 1972, Mike was named the Big 8 Offensive Newcomer of the Year, rushing for 1,260 yards and 8 touchdowns, and he led the Cyclones to the Liberty Bowl. Then in 1973, under Earl Bruce, Mike rushed for over 1,100 yards and earned first-team honors again. Unfortunately, a knee injury affected Mike's senior season, but he left Iowa State as the leading rusher in school history at the time, with better than 3,000 yards in his 3 seasons. Mike was then drafted by the New Orleans Saints, where he played with Archie Manning and led the Saints in rushing as a rookie. In all, he played 6 seasons with the Saints, accumulating 14 touchdowns along the way. Please turn your attention to the video board to see the story of Mike Strawn.
It was Coach Avazana and Coach Green. Coach Avazana went to school with my high school coach. I mean, they were buddies, kind of. So they decided to start recruiting in Miami, and they came down, and the coaches introduced us, and you know, we kind of liked what they presented. Never thought I would be going to Iowa State. Coming from Miami, I've never seen cold like that, you know. But it was cold, but I loved it, and it was a great time, you know. I mean, recruiting is everything, and you were the best in high school, you know. So everybody in college is the best where they came from. So, you know, so you're seeing the competition is much greater. And it seemed like everybody is out there is like all America. So you know, you got the speed, you got the talent, you got people from all over the country. So you know, that was the transition wise. You know, knowing that hey, these guys are much better. I mean, we might have had 5 great ones on our high school team, but when we get into college, they're all great. My freshman year, we weren't allowed to play as freshmen. You know, they just started that, you know, during my sophomore year. So they had a running back, you know, Jerry Moses, of course. So he was the leading running back. He was the starter. And we were playing Colorado State. So it so happened that was the first game of the season. And Jerry got hurt. So me being the backup, I went in, had a great game. And of course, you know, I never looked back, you know, but that's how I really got into the lineup. And that game, I was playing special teams. You know, it was me on all special teams because I wasn't starting initially. So when Jerry got hurt, I had to go in, and I'm playing kickoff team, punt team, doing all the special teams. And after the second quarter, I said, Coach, I can't handle that. You know, I can't run up and down on special teams. They go into the game and expect them to do well. So Coach said, just don't worry about the special teams no more. So that was kind of stuck out in my mind. But you know, it was a good year. I had good line, and you know, we had, you know, it was a good team. We had a good team. I remember the game that stood out a lot. A lot of people said we played at Colorado. I had 198 yards, 2 yards from 200. And I didn't know. I mean, it was a muddy game, and they just ran the ball. Man, I think I carried the ball like 40 times. I mean, couldn't pass. So it wasn't long runs. They were just hit it and get it. You know, we had, you know, here you get 5-6 yards to carry. You know, and I, you know, rain, couldn't throw the ball, so the running game had to be the one. I kind of was a good coachable kind of person, you know. The coach said, you hit the hole right there. You know, nowadays you got the running backs that, you know, all over the place, but then they want you to stick to the hole. So you, when you say, go right here, that's when I go right there. You know, so I might run over a few people sometimes and then break into the secondary, but you know, that was my style, you know, and took a toll, but I enjoyed it, you know. When you play a game, you know, it's a team effort, you know. So, I mean, even on defense, you know, you always pulling for your team, you know, to do well, you know. And then, you know, at the end of the game, at the end of the day, you hang out with these guys, they're your teammates, you know. So it is a bond. I mean, all these years, I mean, and we talk sometimes to some of the former players that, you know, and I mean, it just seemed like it was just yesterday. All these coaches, I mean, they preparing you, they teaching you things that you're going to carry along with you for the rest of your life. And so, I mean, like I say, I give credit to the coaches. I give all the credit in the world to the coaches, especially, you know, the backfield coaches and the head coach, you know, calling the plays, and, you know, it was great. That's my favorite team in the country, you know, and I just always say Iowa State, you know. I got to see that score. I'm not satisfied, even if I don't see the game, I'm not satisfied until I know the outcome. So I really do follow them, and it's my favorite team. Oh, it means a lot. I mean, over the years, I've seen players inducted, you know, to Hall of Fame, Saints, colleges, and so when I got the call, you know, I mean, it was overwhelming, and I felt real blessed to be able to get that call.
And this is indeed Mike's first time back on campus since his career ended in 1974. Things have changed a little bit since then. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome home Iowa State Hall of Famer Mike Strachan.
Okay, great pleasure to be here. I spoke with Mike, you know, I say, what should I talk about today? You know, I do speeches sometime, but I just wanted to know, you know, what I needed to say today. And he said, basically, you thank the people who kind of responsible for you being here today. So I'm going to give thanks. I'm going to give thanks to the Lord first. You know, 70 years I'm here, so I have to go there first. My family, my support system, my wife, Loretta, my daughters, Chandra and Michelle, my grandkids, David, Herbert, Dean, my brother, Alan, and my spiritual advisor, my brother-in-law, Kenneth Nora. So, you know, so those are the people who came up to, you know, celebrate with me. It was a lot more that was coming, but we kind of started with 20 and whittled down to like 10. You know, so, you know, but, you know, they took out their time, you know, out their busy schedule to be here to honor me today, along with everybody here. Also, I came to Iowa State out of high school, didn't know much about Iowa, you know, being from Miami, coming all the way up here in this cold climate. It wasn't cold at that time, but it was, you know, it kind of grew on you, you know, a little bit. So Miami, everybody said, why you go up to Iowa State? I say, I don't know, I just wanted to get a change of culture, you know. It was the 4 best years of my life. I mean, high school was great, but college was the 4 best years of my life. The pros were good too, you know, but Iowa State, you know, they got a place in my heart being here. And, you know, just coming from the South, Miami, and coming into this cold climate, it's not cold right away, but it gradually gets cold. So the first time, you know, it snowed, we didn't know what was going on being from Miami. We were out there practicing, and then we saw something coming from the sky. Say, what is that, you know? So all of us Florida guys, we just stopped and just started playing, you know. And coach said, practice over for the day. So, you know, so that was that, you know. But as far as any running back, great running back, they always give thanks to the line, to the people that got them there. You know, we couldn't do anything unless, you know, somebody was out there blocking. Now, the receivers, y'all help too, you know. All we had to do, out of the line, get me past the big guys, you know, get me to the secondary. So they get me into the secondary, but in order for you to have a good run, you know, your receivers had to do a little something. You know, they had to do a lot of something, you know. So Luther was telling me, Al never blocked her. That's what he said. I don't believe it, but that's what he said. So, you know, he didn't block in college, he didn't block in the pros, but I know that's not true. But anyway, I really enjoyed the time I spent here. Also, I wanted to say about the campus. You know, I rode around to see what it looked like. I mean, I haven't been here you know, since 1975 when I graduated. And I saw, you know, some sites that I've seen, I mean, before. I saw some dormitories that's still up and going. And I saw the stadium. And I had a spot in this stadium. I went and looked at it. You know, I think I'm the only one in here that helped build the stadium. I mean, if somebody else in here that did some work on the stadium, I want to know about it. Now, I only worked 1 week, you know. As Jamie said, you know, I worked 1 week. I said, Coach, I need a job, you know. Or Coach said, okay. They're gonna pull string. They pulled some string for me. Got me into a union, which was a hard thing to do. And I said, okay, that's great. You know, who am I gonna supervise? You know. So I went out there. They pointed to a jackhammer, say, you know. So they got the jackhammer, and, you know, I say it was me and this piling that I had to take, you know, grind up. And I really went and looked for that piling today. When I rode by there, I went and looked for that piling that they told me to go and grind up, and it was either me or that piling. The piling won. So anyway, so those are some good times here. I remember the lake, they told me, coming up here, the lake froze. It used to be lake, yeah, they say they don't freeze no more. I don't know why, but it, you know, it always froze up when I was here. So, and we used to walk across this lake all the time, you know, but it was great. They asked me today, how did I feel about, you know, coming up here to Iowa State? How did I feel about being inducted to the Hall of Fame? I couldn't believe it at first. It was hard to understand. Like I say, I've never been honored like this, you know, and it's a great honor to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. I was looking into the Hall of Fame to the inductees, and somebody mentioned tonight, there's only so many out of the last 40 years. And, you know, so when you look at that, you see what a great honor it is to be inducted. And I just want to say that I'm so blessed, so honored, so humbled by the great honor that has happened to me today. And I want to thank all of you Iowa State fans who's been there since the beginning. I don't know if any of you remember when we played at the old stadium, the fans used to come on the field and form a tunnel for us to run through. Now, I don't know how they found their same seats, but that's what they did. We would come on the field, and we would run up, and they would form that tunnel, and we would run through that tunnel, and it was great. So I just want to thank the fans as well, for being so supportive of us during our, careers, And I know a lot of you are fans in here tonight, and we had a great time here. And I just, let me see what else I need to say. Nothing? My wife said nothing. You said enough. But, and I haven't heard anybody mention this, but, one other thing. I just wanted to tell Herkel, I understand what you were saying about your greatest fan, which was your mother, and I can say the same thing because mine passed as well. And it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have even been here. I have 3 brothers graduated under a single parent, my mother. 3 of us graduated from college, and I had to give her all the credit. Also, I haven't heard anybody mention this, but, the game, we got a game this weekend, and so, this could be a nice weekend with this Hall of Fame ceremony and a victory over Oklahoma State. And so that's what I'm here for. And a little irony in this, I rented a car from the airport to come here, and I just noticed they gave me a license plate from Oklahoma, I said, now how did that happen, we played Oklahoma State and I got Oklahoma license plates. So anyway, I just wanted to say thanks again. I'm enjoying myself this weekend. My family's enjoying themselves. And let's go Cyclones.
Well, how about one more round of applause for this incredible Hall of Fame class? Amazing. One final reminder to place those completed note cards in the vase on your table. And thank you so much for joining us at this special event. We'll see you in the house that Mike Strawn built tomorrow. And go Cyclones! The Iowa State Athletics Hall of Fame was established in 1997 and has grown to 204 inductees. Last night, we celebrated 5 Cyclone greats and are excited to honor them here with you. Joan Gerhardt was a true pioneer for Iowa State women's athletics. Hired as its first golf coach in 1970, Gerhardt led the Cyclones to outstanding success on the links, winning 23 tournament titles and directing the Cyclones to 3 AIAW national tournament appearances in her 13-year career. A 1996 National Golf Coaches Association Hall of Fame inductee, Gerhardt has enjoyed an amazing 50-year career in golf as an instructor, teacher, and mentor. Please honor Hall of Famer Joan Gerhardt. Please honor Hall of Famer Joan Gerhardt. Herkel Ivey was Iowa State's first super scorer in men's hoops during his outstanding career from 1973 to 76. A 3-time All-Big 8 selection, Ivey broke nearly every school scoring record, including game, season, and career. In 1975, Ivey led the Big 8 and set school records that still stand in points per game at 28.3 and 30-point outings with 13. Ivey still ranks in ISU's career top 10 in scoring with 1,752 points. Please welcome Hall of Famer Herkel Ivey. Denny Mazer was a two-time All-American, two-time Big 8 champion, and national champion on the parallel bars as a member of the Iowa State men's gymnastics dynasty from 1970 to 72. In Mazer's 3 seasons in Ames, the Cyclones finished first or second as a team at the NCAA championship. He collected his first individual national title in 1972, the first season of Hilton Coliseum. Please welcome Hall of Famer Denny Mazer. Please welcome Hall of Famer Denny Mazer. Betsy Sina ranks as one of the most decorated female athletes in Iowa State history. The long-distance runner won 3 national titles, earned All-American honors 11 times, and captured 9 Big 12 titles in her amazing Cyclone career. 3 times in her career, Sina was an outstanding performer at the Big 12 championship, including the 2013 Big 12 Indoor, when she claimed 3 individual titles. Sina continues to excel in international competition, placing 5th in the 10,000-meter run at the 2016 Olympics. Please welcome Hall of Famer Betsy Sina. Please welcome Hall of Famer Betsy Sina. Mike Strawn is one of the greatest running backs in Iowa State history, becoming the first Cyclone to rush for over 1,000 yards in back-to-back seasons in 1972 and 73. A 2-time first-team All-Big 8 selection, Strawn ended his career in 1974 as Iowa State's all-time leading rusher and had the 3rd most rushing yards in Big 8 history with 3,010. Strawn played 6 seasons in the NFL with the New Orleans Saints, recording 1,902 rushing yards. Please welcome Hall of Famer Mike Strawn. Please welcome Hall of Famer Mike Strawn.
How about one more round of applause for the 2023 Iowa State Athletics?
This has been an exclusive presentation from Learfield.